A lot of you probably went out this spring and were anxious to buy a fruit tree because you want to grow your own apples. An apple tree is a lot like a child. You've got to train it right from a young age if you want it to grow up and live a productive life. First thing to think about is wherever the first branches are at the bottom, it's going to be your lowest branches. They're never really going to change in height. As the tree grows, the limbs are going to stay at the same height. So I don't know about you, but it's much easier to pick fruit that's down here than it is to have to reach up above your head in order to do that. So I recommend making your first branches about 2 feet up on the tree as far as the ease of planting. Now, if you're planning on cutting around it with a riding mower, you know, that may make things a little bit difficult, so you may want to make your first branches higher if you're going to plan on mowing around it with the riding mower. A couple of things I can show you here. This tree started out as just a straight stick coming up, and at the nursery when they were training it, they cut it right here. Well, when they cut it right here, that's what caused all these branches to start growing out in this direction. And then naturally a tree has a hormone that makes it want to grow up towards the light, towards the sky. And so this is the one that naturally grew upward. And that's what we want to have in an apple tree. That's called the central leader. And we want one central leader that's growing fairly straightly, going straight up. Okay, and then we're gonna, the branches coming out to the side are called the scaffold branches. And so we want to select about 5 of those branches to radiate out from around the tree. Now ideally with these branches we want to, and remember these got here just from where we cut, and as soon as they were, it was cut right here, they all started branching out. I don't see where they removed one right here in order to select for a central leader, but otherwise these were the main branches that came out. It's important that you have a good branch angle. This is an ideal angle of the branch right here. We want it to be, you know, somewhere between 45 and 90 degree angle. This angle right here is a little bit too narrow. Narrow branch angles tend to be weak branches, and when weight gets on this, there's a good chance of this whole branch, you know, splitting off. Also, it's going to encourage, you know, now this branch is growing up this way, and that's not really where we want it. There is a way that we can influence at a young age the angle of the branch. Now this one, it's a little too late for this one. It's already too stiff. But on a younger branch, like say this one over here, there's a way that we can fix that by weighting it down. So what we would want to do is loosely tie a string around the branch. Probably something like this. I'm gonna attempt to tie a bowline because it can be untied later and it won't tighten too snug down on the tree. And then we're gonna take a concrete block and tie the string around the concrete block and get it at just the right angle. Something like that. And then it would need to stay like this for about 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks, you can come back and take the rope off. Okay. So, too late on this one, but that's okay. We'll just have to deal with it. We could weight down this branch out here to make sure that at least this branch continues to go outward. Okay, so a year went by after this initial cut. It grew up to here last year, and then another cut was made right here. And all this branching occurred, and then there was also this other branch that would have been right here. And then that was removed last summer to just have one central leader. So now, you know, we want these scaffold branches to be about 1 foot apart from each other because we want light to be able to reach the fruit on all the branches, and we want them kind of radiating out like a wagon wheel around the central leader. So we have 1 foot here, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 side branches going around, radiating around the central leader. We could also probably weight that down and that down maybe with just clothespins to keep a good angle. So this is last summer's growth, and so we've got about another foot, and then it was cut right here. And now what's going to happen this summer is all of these branches right here where you see these little leaves coming out will all create a whole new set of scaffold branches. Now some of these buds that are coming out down here too low, we could just pick them off so that they don't become a problem. Like that one right there could go, and that could go. You know, and probably, you know, later on we'll probably come, oh, we might as well do it now. You know, go ahead and take that out and get it out of the way. So that's pretty much about all we need to do with this tree right now. One thing we do need to be careful of when we go to plant this tree is this is a tree that's been grafted onto a semi-dwarf rootstock. Grafting is where you take the top of a tree that's a desirable, like the kind of fruit that you want to have. This one is Golden Delicious. So they take Golden Delicious apples and then they graft it onto a rootstock that comes from a semi-dwarf tree, a tree that's only going to get about 15, maybe 20 feet tall. Naturally, a Golden Delicious would get much taller than that, and then it would be hard to reach the fruit. So by combining the qualities of both trees, they connect them together through grafting. And so this is where the two were grafted together. You take the top and the bottom and line it up, and eventually the cambium tissues of each one grow together, and then it functions together as one tree. You do have to be careful when you plant this not to put the graft below the surface of the soil. If you were to do that, what happens is the top part of the tree starts to root into the soil, and then you lose those dwarfing characteristics of the rootstock, and then you're going to end up with probably a 40-foot tall Golden Delicious apple tree, and you won't be able to reach those good apples.